Hi there, everyone. I thought I would just include you as I finish up some signatures for a keepsake journal that I'm making. I'll show you what I've got so far. Here are the signatures that I finished up. This is the first one. Now this page isn't completely done. I'm going to add things here, probably a little something up there. You turn it. They're not sewn in, of course, yet, but here's a pocket that's made from some linen, and it's special linen. This is linen that was used as a table runner at my daughter's wedding, so it has a nice little sentimental meaning. Here's a belly band. And then you turn it, and I love this pocket. I've been saving this cuff or whatever. Actually, I think it's a back of a blouse. I've been saving it because it has all these wonderful hooks on it. And I backed it, I reinforced it with some of that same linen from my daughter's wedding's table runners, a little bit of old netting. This is my Bombay netting that I got from an old Bombay company mosquito net. And then I did finish off the bottom with a ruffle and some more of my Bombay net. You turn it, and here's a little up tuck right here. It's just a remnant from one of the pages. I did print these pages on 12 by 12 paper. I like to cut these particular journals from 12 by 12 paper. Excuse me, a little cough. So I did have some remnants, and I made a little up tuck right there, embellished it with some cardboard and little scraps of sari silk and linen and thread and some lace. This is a pocket made from a vintage Welsh book page. And then here's like just a little tuck, and then this, you could tuck something up under here. I love this heavy crocheted linen. I believe this is Irish lace. It's just so pretty. So that's the first signature. And then the second signature, it does have, and I've sewed, and I like to go over the sewing with some distress ink just to make it blend in, sort of, or stand out, whatever. Here's a little corner pocket. It's nice and roomy. I like to make my pockets all very roomy in these journals so that you can put a lot of mementos. This corner pocket does have a buildup of some coffee filter ruffles, some ruffled sari silk, a little cluster of lace, and a mulberry moss rose. Open it up. Once again, here's more of my table runner made into a tuck spot that's very roomy. And then here's just here's an up tuck with a little teeny pocket right here that something can be placed in. Here's a double pocket. I'm not quite done with this one. I think it's a little bland. Now, for instance, I have this lovely pile over here of all kinds of seam bindings that I've crinkled. Now, the way I crinkle my seam binding is I cut it a nice long length of it, and I wad it up like this. I run it under water and I dampen it, and then I sprinkle it with instant coffee that I've dissolved in water, and then I put it in the microwave for a minute, and then if it's still damp, I put it in for another 30 seconds. It's usually all you need for a clump this big is about a minute. You don't want to go too much over that, as it will scorch and burn. So I was thinking of either taking some of this white, which I kind of like, and just tacking it onto there like that. Maybe some of this kind of robin's egg blue that I've crinkled up. I might do that one. And I like the white. And then there's this kind of taupey color that's also nice. So I'll decide on that. And then here's the next page is another tuck spot pocket that is made from a printout of a old postcard. I believe these are one of Sam Poole's postcards. And another cluster of, an old mulberry rose that's been sort of aged up. I've smushed it with my iron. And just some of the remnants of lace and all the little bits of remnants, I've just gathered them up and sewn them on there. And then here is another tuck spot. I love to make these tuck spots where I punch holes, put some eyelets in there, and then run a loop of sari silk through, and then I've embellished it with buttons. And so now we're working on the third signature. These keepsake journals get very, very chunky by the nature of the fact that the pockets are so deep. I stuff them so full of things. So I've sort of been working on what I want to do with this pocket. And I think I want to use this. This is a bit of napkin, and it's a napkin that has been scorched by irons and stained. So I love that. I know that's horrible that I love scorched napkins, but I just do. And then this, I was gonna overlay this piece of lace, sort of make it another pocket here, pocket there. I've got a remnant from some coffee filter oyster ruffle that I thought I'd place there. And then once again, I thought I would use, and I crinkled up this gray, which sort of matches the gray in the paper that I've chosen. I think I might sew that either along the bottom or along the top. I'm not exactly sure. And then I thought I would also maybe put some of this lace at the top, just sort of run it, scrunching it up as I go. I think that would add a nice, something nice to the top of that page. And then I have still got to do this page and this page now, and then the very back page. So this pocket so far has this burlap and this wonderful Irish linen crocheted lace, which I just love, a bit of leftover Welsh book page, and a wax seal. And then this is just, this is from a book that I tore apart. This is, you know, the innards of when you tear apart a book, there's those nice chunky bits of leftovers. And then I made this giant lace pocket, which I've embellished, but I'm not quite sure that I'm done. I may tie some loops of ribbon in there. I've got to do this page. There's the center page we talked about, this page, and then here I made a pocket that has an open edge, so a lot can fit into there. And I have embellished it with a bit of the leftover napkin from another napkin, some scrunched up paper, of the paper that I printed off. I think it's this paper right here. And then some of the oyster coffee filter ruffle, an old button with the actual old thread left in it, and some more of my table runner, and then a piece of cardboard. And then I have to do this page. So I thought I'd take you along while I do this. I still have to make the cover. And then of course I also have to make all of the ephemera to go in it. I've started to gather a little pile of things I want to turn into ephemera over here. For instance, I am going to use this picture and this frame. I'm going to make this into a bit of ephemera, and then I'm going to use, this is a Lily Langtree. I love this picture, and I'm going to use this frame and turn her into a bit of ephemera as well. I also have quite a few tags that I've been backing, and gonna grunge these up quite a bit and use those. So I started to think about what kind of ephemera I want to put in this. Of course, I'll also make some little mini notebooks. I'll include bookmarks. I'll include matchbook notebooks. So let's get started. I'm gonna go over to my sewing machine, and I'm going to just quickly sew together these pockets so that I can then attach them to this page, and we'll get it all embellished and ready to go. And you'll see how quickly you can do it once you've sort of got in mind what you want to do. I'll be right back. Okay, so I am back. I've sewn this. I didn't put the seam binding ruffle on this because I just loved how this looked, kind of, even though I've ironed it, I loved how it sort of remained wrinkled, and I love the selvage of that piece of lace. I didn't want to hide it. So I did sew it to the top of that. I still need to probably glue that down, but I'm going to wait until I put everything all together. Now I need to cover up this right here on this oyster coffee filter ruffle. And what I think I'm going to do is I'm going to take this remnant of this wonderful Irish, I just think it's Irish because I'm pretty sure this is Irish linen, and I like it backwards because I like to see that sort of hem, and I thought I'd put it on top of my ruffle. And then I did find this bezel that I made several years ago, and I haven't used it, and I think it would be really pretty on there. So I think I'm going to sew this on there with a bit of this. So I'm going to grab my big giant needle that I have. I think wait, I'm over here grabbing. I think I'll grab this one. This one has some thread in it, and I'm going to start it out with some thread, and I'm just going to sew it onto this, the selvage of this piece of lace. I was rooting around in my closet and found this bezel. I am going to do a tutorial pretty soon on how to make filling bezels. I wouldn't say making bezels because I haven't. Even though I've played with making bezels, I'm not good enough to actually show anybody that, and that's something I have to do down in my basement, where there's good ventilation right by a window, and also where I won't burn down anything because this room is just too volatile. But I'm just gonna quickly stitch this onto here like this and get it, and then I'm gonna tie a quick little knot in the back. But I love this bezel, and I do love to make bezels. I haven't actually made bezels in over a year, and it's time for me to make some bezels. And then I'm gonna grab my giant needle, which is right here. This is my giant tapestry needle that was my mother's. I love this needle because it was my mother's needle, and I really strive very hard not to lose it. And then what I'm going to do is I'm just going to take this through here like this, and go down in through, oh, I can't, you won't go through that hole. So I'm going to go across like that. And then I'm going to come back up again through there. And I'm going to pull out my needle and take back some of this like that, so I don't use up all my ribbon. I'm gonna rethread it. Then I'm gonna, see I've got that end, and then I'm gonna make another end. So I'm gonna bring it up on the other side like this. Okay. Oh, I'm having trouble getting this through. There we go. Okay, so I'm gonna bring it up on the other side like this. There we go. And I'm gonna snip it off. I'm gonna put this over back, put my needle back so I don't lose it. Okay, and then I'm gonna tie a really nice bow, and see, it sort of gathers it all up, and it'll be a pretty little bow. Oh, that's nice. Okay, and then I'm just gonna glue that onto there like that. I could stitch it on, but I think I'm gonna glue it just because this is paper, so it can take the glue. I'm just gonna stick it on there like that and let it set up. And then I think I'm gonna take some of this lace that I had, and I'm gonna run it across the top here. But first, before I do that, I'm gonna turn this page and decide what I want to do on this page. Now, it's always good to remember when you're looking at what to do, what you've done on the page previous. So putting another piece of lace would probably, I don't know if I would like that look. And once again, I'm gonna take my stitching that came from sewing the pocket down, and I'm just gonna run my distress tool over it. I think what would be nice here, because you sort of have to look at what you got going. I've got a pocket here, I've got a pocket here. I think a corner pocket would be kind of nice. Now, what I have over here in my little stash of things, I'm looking to see what I've got paper-wise. And this is kind of how I work. I mean, I'm just showing you my full-on messy table that I'm working on here. And here I have a cute little corner pocket. That would be just enough, I think. Or I could make more. Let's see, what have I got over here? Let's see. Pile of lace. Piles of things. Here's some Welsh book page. I don't know, it might be nice to have some Welsh book page sticking out, or I have this whole page, and it might be nice to do that. Kind of like that one. Just tear it down. Yeah, I kind of like that one. Kind of looks nice juxtaposed against that lace. So what we need to do is we need to create some room. I'm just gonna fold up that and fold up this. And I'm folding it up just a little because I want to leave that script writing. I like the way that looks. I'm going to cut off the corner and cut down this a little bit. And then there, that makes it fit just pretty nicely. Now the next thing we have to decide before we just plop it down is how we want to embellish this particular corner. So I do have some of this. I like the way this looks. And I also have some more paper that comes from that same thing. It has some nice, this is Shabby Dabby Doodah, by the way. It's her document collection. And I would strongly advise anybody to get that document collection papers. I think this is number 1. There's so much good stuff in it, just so much. So let me root around and I'll be right back because I have some ideas of what I want to do. Okay, so this is what I've come up with. I've taken a strip of this, this is just packing tape, brown packing tape, and I've sort of ruffled it up, and then so that it wouldn't be sticky on the back, I just stuck on some tissue paper, just stuck it on there. And I think I'm gonna also stick a little bit of tissue paper on this part right here where it's just sort of sticking, and then just sort of make it so it won't be quite as sticky, like that. And then I've got this is a sheet of, it's paper, handmade paper. I don't know if it's handmade, but it's paper, mulberry paper, and it's embedded with strings, and it has all these Swiss cheese holes. And I love this. And if you pull on the edges, it makes a nice, it creates threads, which are really pretty, and it makes a nice little edge. And then what I like to do is, after I pull it apart like this, see, it makes that nice edge. I'm going to, actually, I'm going to save all these because you can wad these up and sew them into something. I'm going to ruffle it up on the edge that I've just cut, and I'm going to go sew it with my sewing machine, and I'm going to sew down this piece of sort of khaki color ribbon, ruffled ribbon, onto that like that. So I'll be right back. Okay, so I'm back, and let me show you what I ended up doing. I found all kinds of scraps over at my sewing machine. So I did lay down the piece of the handmade paper like I showed you. I did put it underneath and sewed it down, and then I sewed on top the little piece of khaki color crinkled seam binding. And then I had some of this laying over at my sewing machine, so I decided to sew it onto there as well, and I crumpled it up at the end. And then I also took a piece of this sort of lovely robin's egg blue crinkle and just wadded it up, sewed it on, and attached, if you can see underneath here, a small little scrap of my linen and a scrap of a sari silk, just to add a punch of color. And then I did put on these little flowers and twisted up the end. So that makes a nice, pretty little pocket. And so then we turn the page, and we have this one left and this one left. Now, so we've got to sort of assess what we've got going on here. We have a lace pocket, a corner pocket, a double middle pocket, and then a side tuck pocket. I think a long, either a belt, I don't know, belly band, or actually I think a long pocket here would be nice. Or maybe a frame pocket. Let me go and check. I think I've got some. Okay, so what I am thinking here is I found this remnant from one of the papers I've been using, and oh, I love this. This script right here. Oh, it's so pretty. So I think I'm going to do something up here with this. It is going to mean I'm going to need to sort of ink up my edges really good so that it doesn't look so finished and cut like on a paper cutter, like it looks right now. Sort of scrunch it up. Oops, sorry, I didn't mean to knock you. Sorry. So I'm going to put that up there, and then I did find a frame. This is a 49 in Market frame. And then I've got this piece of mica. Now, one thing I usually do with my mica sheets is I separate them, and let me show you what I usually do. I usually just sort of scrunch it up a bit and take my fingernail and then just separate it like that, and that makes it go a lot farther because they're not cheap, but you're getting twice as much for the price. But in this case, I don't think you can see the way this mica looks. It's sort of got a dark brown color to it, and I think I am gonna leave it the thickness that it is. It'll be nice and thick and sturdy. And then I'm just gonna cut off the bottom, and actually I'm just gonna bend it and tear it like this. And then I'm gonna let it hang over like that. I like the way it looks, kind of hanging up over the edges. And then I am gonna take some netting. This is large hole netting. It's got a big hole to it. And I'm going to scrunch it up and sort of sew it on. And I'm also gonna sew on some of my robin's egg blue because it sort of looks nice against this green pocket. So that's what I'm gonna do to build up this little, and I'm just gonna make it a tuck spot like that. I'm not gonna add any gussets. I'm just going to make sure the writing's going the right way, and I'm just going to sew it down and glue it on and just make it a tuck spot. So I'm gonna go work on that right now. Okay, so here it is. I've scrunched up and sewn the netting along one edge, turned a corner, and just scruffed it up a bit with my my blending tool. And then do the same thing with the green. And then I found some very tiny remnant of some fake baby's breath that I've had forever because it was only 49 cents, which was really a long time ago. And I just sort of glued it down in there to give it just a little oomph. And then what I'm gonna do is I'm not gonna sew it, I'm gonna glue it. I'm gonna glue it in place just along the two edges, just so that it's a tuck spot. So I can tuck a picture or a poem or something down behind it. And I'm gonna leave that bit of mica hanging down at the end. I love the mica hanging over. I like how it turned out. I really love this, it's pretty. I'm gonna take a couple of clamps to make sure it dries on there nicely. Like that. I'm gonna move that down like that. And do this one here like this. There. Okay, so then the next thing I want to do is I still want to add this up at the top. Now, the question is, do I want to put something behind it? Do I want to put this piece of eyelet under it, maybe? Let's see how that looks. Do I want to just leave it plain and just maybe add a couple of brads to go behind it, to go in on either side of it, make it just a small little tuck? You could just stick a couple of little things up there. I might do that. Let me go grab some brads. I have gotten my punchy tool and I've poked one hole right here, and I'm gonna do another one right here. I stabbed myself the last time, so I'm trying not to do that again. I've got these nice brads. I have to tell you my funny brad story. So I usually get all my brads at Michael's. For some reason, it's easier for me to purchase them when I can see them in person. So usually when I go to Michael's, I take my husband along with me. And one time I was buying brads, and he saw the kind of brads that I like to buy, and he went to Michael's for some reason without me. He went to the brad section, and they were on sale, and he could see that they were really getting bought up. So he came home with this gigantic bag of brads. He bought me all these brads, and so I have this lifetime supply of brads. It's hysterical. Anyway, I think that I like the way that looks. So I'm gonna bend that one right there so I know where to tear it off, or I might just, I think I'll just glue it on like that. And then this one, I'll do the same thing. I'll bend it right there and cut it off. I like these numbers too, so I want to save that part. Let me throw those bits away. And so when I do this and I glue it down, you'll be able to stick something up there like that. That'll be kind of neat. So I will now, well, that's a little going to hang over the edge, so I have to make it a little bit, do it a little bit tighter. Okay. Yeah, that's better. So what I'll do is just glue it down. Put enough glue on there so it really sticks. And I'll take my clamps that I've used. I'll clamp it down. I clamped myself down. Okay. And this one over here. I like that. Okay. Just get it, go over there, there. Okay, so let's see what I've got here. Let me just take this like this, there. All right, so I did that one. I've got the middle, I finished it. Okay, there's only one more page that we need to do, and it's this one. And now I have to decide what I want to do with this one. So, I don't know. Okay, so like we've done before, when we turn this page, it's going to be pocket, tuck spot. I don't know, maybe belly band, or let's think, what would be good? Oh, here, I've had this pretty piece of lace. Maybe just something as simple as this. Just this simple little piece of lace, because it's going to be a big, fat, thick keepsake journal as it is. I think I'm going to just sew this down and call it a day, because this is going to be the final page in the journal. It'll back up against the back cover page. Yeah, yeah, that's what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna sew this down, and then when I come back, I'll show you all the parts that we've got done, that we've essentially got the journal pages all embellished and decorated, and then I'll talk about what the next steps are. All right, so here we have, you can see from looking down on it what it's going to be thickness wise, what it'll kind of look from the side. I may add tabs. I think I will. But the next step in this journal is going to be to make the cover. So I'm going to scrounge around and sort of put together my idea of what I want for the cover, cut out the pieces of cardboard that I need to do that, and then I think I'll probably video how I go about putting that together. So this is what we have so far for today, and then part 2 will be making the cover. So I hope you enjoyed seeing part of my process and how I go about, in particular, making these little keepsake journals that I love to make. And I haven't made one in a while, and one of my New Year's resolutions this year was to get back to my roots. So here I am making one. Thank you so much, everybody, for watching and for subscribing and making all your lovely comments and just giving me a like. I really appreciate it. I hope you'll come back for part 2, the cover, and I really thank you for your friendship. It's a lovely community, and I just enjoy it so much. Bye, everyone. Have a nice day.